In Salem, some confrontations begin before anyone raises their voice. Sometimes it starts with a father walking through the door. Sometimes it starts with a smile that hides a threat. And sometimes it starts with a wife realizing the past is no longer buried safely behind her. On Wednesday, May 13th, Days of Our Lives brings three very different stories into focus, but all of them circle the same dangerous idea. When old choices return, no one gets to stay comfortable. This may not be the loudest episode of the week, but it could be one of the most revealing. Because Wednesday is not just about what happens next. It is about who finally gets forced to face what they have been avoiding. Let's break it all down. Steve showing up to see Alex is not just a father making polite conversation. It could be the moment Alex realizes Stephanie's pain is no longer something he can smooth over with good intentions. Steve knows his daughter. He knows when she is trying to stay reasonable while something inside her is quietly breaking. So even if Steve keeps his tone controlled, Alex may feel the warning behind every word. The problem is joy, but more importantly, what joy now represents. Alex having a child with joy creates a permanent tie. This is not a past mistake that can be pushed aside. Joy will remain connected to him through the baby, and Stephanie has to live with that reality every day. She may support Alex as a father, but that does not mean she feels safe as his wife. That is likely what Steve wants Alex to understand. He may not criticize Alex for wanting to be present in his child's life. In fact, Steve may respect that, but he could make it clear that being a good father does not automatically make Alex a good husband. Stephanie also needs attention, honesty, and emotional protection. That may be the part Alex has not fully grasped. From his perspective, he may think he is doing the mature thing. He is stepping up, he is accepting responsibility, but from Stephanie's side, every moment Alex spends navigating Joy's needs could feel like another sign that her marriage is being reshaped without her control. Steve may push Alex with questions he cannot easily escape. Where does Stephanie fit now? How will Alex set boundaries with Joy? Can he reassure Stephanie before her patience turns into distance? If Alex listens, this visit could help him save his marriage before the damage deepens. But if he becomes defensive, Steve may see exactly what he feared, that Alex is trying to manage the situation without truly understanding Stephanie's heart. And that could make this conversation far more serious than Alex expects. Stephanie may be trying to handle the Joy situation with grace, but that does not mean she is not hurting. That is what makes this storyline so emotionally sharp. Stephanie cannot simply object to Alex being a father. If she does, she risks looking unfair or insecure. She knows the baby deserves Alex's love. She knows Alex has a responsibility. But accepting that truth does not erase the pain of watching another woman become permanently tied to her husband. Her real fear may be something she does not want to say out loud. She may worry that Joy and the baby will become a separate part of Alex's life, a world filled with private conversations, shared decisions, and emotional moments Stephanie can never fully enter. That kind of exclusion can hurt even when no one is intentionally being cruel. And that is why Steve's involvement matters. Steve can see the danger before Alex fully sees it. Stephanie may keep smiling. She may tell herself she is being mature. But if Alex keeps assuming she is fine, he may miss the slow emotional withdrawal happening right in front of him. Stephanie does not need Alex to choose between her and his child. She needs him to prove that loving his child will not mean neglecting his marriage. That balance is difficult, and Alex may not be prepared for how much effort it will take. Reassurance cannot be vague. Boundaries cannot be accidental. If Joy stays close, Alex will need to be clear, consistent, and careful. Otherwise, Stephanie may not explode. She may simply stop asking for what she needs. And once someone stops asking, it often means they have started giving up. So Wednesday's tension may not be about one dramatic fight. It may be about the emotional crack that forms when someone feels replaced before anyone admits it. Gwen may be clever, but Wednesday could remind viewers that EJ DiMera is dangerous in a very different way. Gwen knows how to survive messy situations. She can read a room, twist a conversation, and make people question what they think they know. She is slick because she understands weakness, and she is not afraid to use it. But EJ is not an easy target. He does not always respond with immediate rage. Sometimes he does something more dangerous. He listens. He lets the other person talk too much. He allows them to become confident. Then, when they think they have control, he uses their own words against them. That could be the trap Gwen walks into. If she believes she can manipulate EJ, she may be underestimating how alert he already is. The DiMera world is in chaos after Stefano's will reading and Lexi's shocking return. EJ is also digging into his own past, especially his mysterious connection to Cat Green. That means he is not relaxed. He is suspicious, restless, and determined to regain control. So Gwen's timing may be terrible. If she pushes him, hides information, or tries to outplay him, EJ may not expose her immediately. He may study her first. He may let her think her plan is working. And that false sense of security could be exactly what he needs. That is where EJ becomes most dangerous. He can smile while setting a trap. He can sound polite while testing every answer. And if Gwen slips even once, he may turn the entire situation against her. This showdown could be sharp because both of them know how to scheme. But Gwen's talent is survival. EJ's talent is retaliation. And when a DiMera decides to retaliate, the other person usually realizes too late that the game was never equal. EJ's confrontation with Gwen may not just be about proving who is smarter. It may expose something much more dangerous happening inside EJ himself. Right now, EJ is surrounded by mysteries he cannot fully control. Stefano's will has stirred up the DiMera family. Lexi's return has reopened old questions. And his possible connection to Cat Green is pushing him toward a part of his past that still feels hidden from him. That is why the hypnosis idea with Marlena matters. EJ is not asking questions out of casual curiosity. He wants access to memories that may change everything. And when EJ feels locked out of his own past, he does not become patient in a peaceful way. He becomes calculating. He becomes sharper. He starts looking at everyone as either a source of information or an obstacle. That could make Gwen's position very risky. If she tries to play games with him now, she may be dealing with an EJ who has no tolerance for distractions. He may smile. He may trade clever lines. He may let her think the conversation is under control. But underneath, he could be studying every reaction. Does Gwen know more than she is admitting? Is she bluffing? Is she trying to use his confusion against him? Those are the questions EJ may be asking silently. And once he senses weakness, he could turn the whole situation around. What makes this version of EJ dangerous is not loud anger. It is focus. He may not need to threaten Gwen directly. He only needs to make her realize that she has stepped into a game where he is already several moves ahead. Gwen may be slick, but EJ's search for answers could make him less forgiving than usual. If she becomes part of the mystery, he will press her. If she becomes a problem, he will remove the advantage she thought she had. Because for EJ, this is no longer just about winning. It is about refusing to be kept in the dark. And when a DiMera decides he is done being manipulated, everyone around him should start choosing their words carefully. But while EJ's story moves through strategy and control, Paulina's crisis is far more emotional, and much harder to hide. Paulina leaning on Marlena shows just how shaken she really is. Lexi's return is not just another Salem shock. For Abe, it is deeply personal. This is the woman he loved, lost, grieved, and never expected to see again. Now she is alive, standing in the present, and suddenly Paulina has to face a fear that no wife would want to admit. What if the past still has power? Paulina may know Abe loves her, but seeing Abe with Lexi could still hurt in a way logic cannot fix. Their history is not casual. It is emotional, meaningful, and tied to years of memory. Paulina may feel like she is competing with a love story that existed long before she entered Abe's life. And that would be painful enough on its own. But the secret makes everything worse. Paulina knew Lexi was alive and kept that truth from Abe. Even if she believed she was protecting him, Abe may not see it that way. To him, this was not a harmless omission. It was a life-changing truth about Lexi, Theo, and his own heart. So Paulina is not only afraid of Lexi. She is afraid of Abe's disappointment. That is why Marlena becomes so important in this moment. Paulina may need comfort, but she also needs honesty. Marlena can understand fear without excusing the damage it causes. She may gently remind Paulina that saving her marriage cannot begin with denial. Paulina may want to focus on Lexi as the threat, but the real wound may be trust. If she wants Abe to stay close, she may have to stop defending the secret and start acknowledging what it cost him. She may have to give him space to feel hurt without turning that hurt into a fight. That is not easy for Paulina. She is bold, proud, and used to pushing through trouble with force. But this is different. She cannot talk her way around Abe's pain. She cannot compete with Lexi by being louder. She may have to become vulnerable in a way that scares her. And that could make this one of her most human moments. Paulina may still love Abe with everything she has. But Wednesday could force her to realize that love alone will not erase the past, especially when that past has just walked back into the room. So Wednesday, May 13th may deliver drama in 3 very different forms. Steve's visit to Alex could force the Joy situation into the open, making it clear that Stephanie's marriage needs more than patience to survive. EJ's showdown with Gwen could prove that she may be clever, but he is still dangerous when he feels cornered. And Paulina's conversation with Marlena may reveal just how terrified she is that Abe's heart could be pulled back toward Lexi. This episode may not depend on one shocking twist. Instead, it builds tension through conversations that matter. A father asks the hard questions. A Demera prepares his counterattack. A wife fears the past may steal her future. And by the end of Wednesday, Salem may feel a little more unstable than it did before. Because sometimes the real turning point is not the explosion. It is the moment right before it, when everyone can finally feel the ground starting to move.